I'm Callie Sigler, and today we are joined with Mayor Willis to talk about the Grand Park Master Plan. Welcome, Mr. Willis.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So we kind of saw the concept of the master plan about a couple weeks ago. How did the overall idea kind of start on what you wanted Grand Park to transform into?
Yeah, so when Grand Park was developed, it was always supposed to be an economic engine for our city, and it really hadn't been that to this point. Obviously, a lot of people come into the park. It's an amazing sports campus, certainly the largest in America. But a lot of people who were coming into Grand Park were going other places to eat, shop, stay in hotels. And we wanted to create more of a destination around Grand Park where people could really stay and spend their day at the campus. Not to mention, not a lot of people live around the park, so that's why there's really not much around it right now. So we wanted to create a destination, a village concept at the park that would just take it to the next level.
Yeah, and we kind of see Liv kind of coming into Chatham. Are we kind of hoping for like the same thing, big sporting events there?
That's right. We got Liv coming. They'll be at Chatham for 2 years, this summer and next summer. We got FIFA and the World Cup coming to Grand Park in 2026. So I think this vision can help create more opportunities for our residents to see some major sporting events in our community.
Yeah, and in the plans we have a beach. What is the reason behind that? Is we're kind of in the Midwest where there is no beaches.
That's right. We don't have any beaches in Westfield right now, but you'll notice there's a canal that connects the existing pond or lake and to a new pond that's going to have a beach there. And it's really just creating gathering places where people want to come and hang out. So imagine playing a game and you're done at noon or 1 o'clock and you want to go over and grab a bite to eat, and there's a beach there and you can hang out at the beach, and there might be beach volleyball that you can play, or I don't know if there'll be much swimming there, but kayaking. So just opportunities for people to come and gather and have fun.
Yeah, some activities that can happen, beach volleyball, we kind of see that could happen. We don't see much around that, and I love beach volleyball. And then a trolley system might be in the works.
Yes.
How's that going to work? Like all year round, are we thinking?
Well, we'll see. A lot of it will depend on events and when they're happening in the city, but certainly during the hot peak months of Grand Park, we want to have ways to get visitors in and around the city and really, quite frankly, keep them off our roads with the cars. Traffic can get kind of rough around Grand Park, so what our envision is trolley system that runs from the hotel corridor into the park to drop people off, maybe run them downtown to restaurants or different shopping areas. But we see it as really a fun way for people to come into the park and reduce the amount of traffic that our residents have to experience with tourists.
I think that's an absolute great idea. I think the trolley system, I'll be excited to ride that.
It's fun, right? Yeah. Who don't want to get on a trolley? So
yeah, and we're kind of seeing the background and the concept of kind of what's going to be there. It's over like a 10-year estimate of time before it's finished. Is traffic going to be a problem as construction is going on?
Traffic is always a concern when you're dealing with new construction, and we certainly believe there'll be a period of time where we're going to have congested areas because of that construction. But the hope is by creating, it goes against what a lot of people are thinking. When you bring that level of density into an area and you create a walkability to that area, you don't have to get in a car to get to a restaurant or a shop or to a place where you get a cup of coffee. Everything's right there on the campus. So I think there'll be some short-term pain for a long-term gain with that.
Yeah, that will definitely help residents, especially that live kind of around Westfield. They don't want to deal with that traffic, especially when they got to get to these events.
That's right.
And then the annual visitors kind of was a shocker. We kind of saw that we were overall expecting 250,000.
That's right.
And now we're over 5 million. When it's all finished in 10 years, what is kind of the expected visitors annually?
That is a great question, and nothing, quite frankly, that we've estimated. But when you look at, we're bringing ice to Grand Park, a 4-sheet ice complex where we can have winter tournaments, ice skating, figure skating, curling, all the different winter things that come with ice rinks. We think we can grow that to maybe 6, 7, 8 million people a year coming into Grand Park. But a lot will just depend on how it builds out and the types of businesses and experiences that we create there at Grand Park.
Yeah, so the skating facility, we're also kind of seeing a stadium in the works. Are those both going to be open to the public and events?
So ice will be. It'll be a lot like Grand Park now. It'll just be a place where we can hold tournaments and have different events, but certainly open ice will be part of that as well. In terms of the stadium, that's a to be determined. Right now, we think it's going to be Indy 11. It's going to operate out of there. Right now, it's going to be their women's professional soccer team. But we're starting conversations with the schools to see, hey, what about the football team playing at Grand Park a couple of times a year, or the soccer team, or other different events. So I think there'll be some collaboration with the schools and with the community to enjoy that stadium, but it's going to house a professional sports team, so it won't be maybe as accessible as other fields there at Grand Park.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing the women's and maybe MLS could be in the works there.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. That's a mess right now, what's playing out with MLS and Indianapolis, and we certainly want to play a role in that if we can, but at the end of the day, that's kind of out of our hands.
Yeah. And then we kind of have, Westfield is kind of a family community, but there's citizens that don't. How do you sell Grand Park to people that don't have children?
That's a great question, because you're right. Westfield's kind of known for a younger family type community, but we're seeing the demographics shift a little bit. Westfield is actually aging faster than the other 3 cities in Hamilton County, and I think a reason for that is a lot of older people, retirees, are coming in because their grandkids are here, and their grandkids play at Grand Park. And we have built here recently a couple of 55 and older communities that have some amazing amenities for people who are at that retirement age that want a different lifestyle. So I think through the types of housing we're doing and what's happening at Grand Park and with the families coming in here, we're going to see a bit more diversification of our population.
Yeah, and that would definitely help, because there's, especially with the restaurants in downtown, kind of making kind of a more modern downtown, and especially with Grand Park happening with restaurants and apartments. That's
right. I'm glad you brought that up. We're really focused on downtown. We want people like you, when you go to college and you graduate and you're looking for a place to stay. I'm not sure right now Westfield's attractive to our younger generations, but I think as we modernize and revitalize that downtown, we're going to create experiences that are going to attract that younger generation, and maybe you'll want to come back and hang back in Westfield.
So we are kind of seeing a remodel in downtown. Is that planning to continue as kind of Grand Park gets updated too?
Yes, we're going to do both at the same time. Expect lots of construction, expect lots of traffic as a result of that construction. But we've got a lot of exciting projects happening in downtown. We've got 2 we just announced. We got 2 more we're getting ready to announce. So we're going to have a really crazy 3 to 5 years in our downtown. It's going to totally transform. It's not even going to look the same.
Yeah, as we see kind of the historical attractions kind of move and make room for what's coming, and we're kind of excited to see that. Especially for me, I like the downtown area.
Yeah, and we have some historical pieces to our city that we want to preserve. So we're going to try to modernize while honoring the past, and I think we can do both. A great example is the Sun King Brewery that's getting ready to be built. The fire station, which is the original fire station in Westfield, it's over 100 years old. That building has been lifted. We're going to turn it and back it into the new building. It will be the entryway into the brewery. So we're going to find unique opportunities to do things like that. We definitely don't want to come in and just bulldoze every old house or every old building. Some of that will happen, but we do want to preserve the important pieces of our history.
No, it's really what Westfield is, especially as we kind of see Erica's place kind of backing up and being lifted and seeing where that goes.
That's right. That's right. I'm excited about that as well.
As we have properties around Grand Park, what will kind of happen to the property values that are kind of being built with the new master plan?
They're going up. They're going up in value. I think when Grand Park was originally built, prices were like $65,000 an acre. Prices are now over $500,000 an acre, and they're just going to continue to rise. That's the downside. Well, it depends on which side of the fence you're on. If you're looking for land, that's a con. If you own the land, it's certainly a pro. But land prices will continue to skyrocket in Westfield. The more we do, the more we revitalize this city, the higher land prices go up, and that's unfortunate. But I would never want to live in a city where the value of your home or your land is declining, because that means bad things are happening in your community, and that's not a place you want to live.
Yeah, especially in 2025, we want those kind of property values to go up. And I think with this plan, especially the kind of farms and other houses will definitely benefit from that.
That's right. That's right.
And then in the plan, we have apartment buildings being built. Are those going to be more expensive compared to ones that are around Westfield?
That's a to be determined, because we haven't seen a proposal yet. We envision it being more studio, 1 bedroom, maybe a few 2 bedroom apartments, but we're trying to target a younger demographic. So think about graduating, say, from Ball State, and you come back to Westfield, and you're living on the campus of Graham Park, and you walk outside your apartment, you go down an elevator to the first floor, and there's a coffee shop there. No, by the way, across the street's a nice little breakfast place, and if you want to work out, you've got the trail system of the entire park in your backyard. We think it's going to attract younger people, and for that to happen, the prices will need to be more affordable because you're not graduating from Ball State and paying $2,000 a month for an apartment. So we've got to find that balance, and we have a vision of what we're trying to accomplish there. So I think the apartments won't be as expensive as maybe what's happening downtown, but nothing is cheap in Hamilton County, unfortunately. So it won't be like an apartment in, say, downtown Indy or Kokomo or other communities in Indiana.
So we're drawing that younger audience as we see kind of studio apartments being built, and that will definitely help because as me being young, I love having kind of everything in one spot, and that's kind of what's going to happen.
That's right. The younger generation, it's what you guys are asking for. Quite frankly, I'm old generation, right? And as I grow to be an empty nester, I might have a son still in high school, but when he graduates, my wife and I want walkability. We would love to walk out our front door and go a block and have a really nice restaurant or coffee shop to hang out. So I don't think it's just the young folks, but certainly the younger generation, that's what they want. And if we don't build that in Westfield, what's going to happen is we're sending our kids off to college and they don't come home. Yeah. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, you always want them to come home, especially as we kind of get this modernized version. It makes you want to stay.
That's right. That's right. And that's the plan.
Yeah. A word that's been thrown around is TIF.
TIF.
What is it? For me that doesn't really know, and there's probably an audience out there that doesn't know really what it is.
TIF is called tax increment financing. And what it basically is, imagine that this cell phone is worth $10. And I do something to this phone to bring the value up to, say, $100. Right now, you're paying taxes on that $10 value. I do something to invest to make it more. There's a gap, right? It was worth $10, now it's $100. That gap in taxes, that increment, due to the investment that we made as a city, we capture that money. It goes directly back to the city that we can use to reinvest in the community. It's not a new tax. It's not tax increases. It's just taking what is already an existing tax and capturing the revenue stream from it. So, for example, the county doesn't get any of it. The city gets all of it. And it's a way for us to revitalize areas and use that revenue stream that's coming from the taxes to reinvest back into the community. Yeah, sometimes they'll pay for roads, or if we want a coffee shop at the bottom level of that apartment, but it's more expensive and it doesn't financially pencil for the project, you can use that TIF revenue to help pay for pieces to that development to make it better.
Yeah, we're seeing TIFs kind of being used kind of in a parking garage, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be one of the first things. That's
right, because so for every parking spot we build in a parking garage, it's $35,000 to $45,000. So no developer, no builder is going to build any more parking spots than they need for their own development. So in downtown, we're trying to add parking. So if we ask a builder, hey, we want 100 more spots than you need for your development, well, that's $4.5 million that we're asking them to take on. So what we do is we add that TIF revenue that's being created by the development to pay for that. And that's how you get infrastructure and public utilities and public amenities.
Yeah, you're also kind of seeing a partnership with some other businesses coming to help you, which that will help with the TIF and kind of building those parking garages. I didn't know they were so expensive just for a parking spot.
Very expensive. But you're going vertical, right? And it's making use of the land. And if you want walkability in your community where you can walk across the street to a Starbucks, if you have these massive surface parking lots to park, say, 400 people in an apartment, you get that sprawl and it takes away from the walkability that you get in a downtown area.
Saving the space so that we can build more and kind of have that freedom as we have the beach coming along, which...
That's right. That beach, the beach and the Ferris wheel, we've gotten a lot of comments about both. I don't know if we'll get a Ferris wheel or not. It's just a kind of a neat concept to add to it, but we'll see.
I think that will be exciting. You kind of get a view of what Westfield is, especially on sunset and sunrises. That would be nice.
That's right. That's right.
Kind of hoping for a Ferris wheel. I would come and just ride that.
Great business opportunity for you. Go buy a Ferris wheel and run a business at Grant Park, right?
I'll be looking for one somewhere. One of your goals in Westfield is keep spending in Westfield and not surrounding cities. How do we kind of keep spending in Westfield?
I mean, tourist dollars?
Yeah.
It's creating opportunities. Like, for example, the most visited restaurant right now for Grand Park tourists, we track every dollar spent. If you're coming in from out of town, we have ways to track everything you're doing. The Sun King Brewery in Carmel has more Grand Park visitors than any restaurant in Indiana. And that's because we don't have anything like that right now. So we have to create those opportunities and those unique destinations. And in doing that, that's where tourists will go. That's, places they want to be. And we just don't have that in Westfield right now. Carmel has done a great job of building those kinds of things. So we're looking to create that.
Yeah, especially after a long day of like playing basketball or football or baseball, you just want to relax. And I think Sun King will be a nice addition. I know the parents will enjoy that. As
great place to grab some food and a drink. Kids can run around. That's what Carmel's created, especially with the courtyard they have outside their Sun King Brewery. We're going to look at similar concepts in Westfield.
I think that's exciting because Midtown is kind of the place people like to go, and kind of bringing that to Westfield will gain more tourism to kind of stick in Westfield.
That's right, and more of our residents. I mean, I hate to admit this, but many times when I go out on a date night with my wife, we're ending up in Carmel. Park Street restaurants are great. There's not a lot of them. You have to plan ahead to get a reservation, and if it's a last-minute decision, we're probably heading into Carmel. And I hate that, and I want more of those opportunities for our residents to stay local.
Yeah, and I think a steakhouse might be coming to Westfield, so that will definitely help for people that just want to have fine dining or a nice dinner and not have to go to kind of the downtown Carmel or downtown Indy for that.
That's right. That's right.
Grant Park kind of struggled with money and kind of buying. How do you gain revenue after this is all built?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Grant Park kind of struggled with keeping money and finding buyers, and you kind of Grant Park Sports and Entertainment and Westfield kind of partnered up. How do we kind of gain revenue once it's all built?
Okay, so we are now leasing out the operations of Grant Park. So the city at one time, up until this year, we had a city staff that managed everything at the park. I've never thought that government is a great entity to try to run a business. That's what the private sector, the business community is good at. So now partnering and handing over the operations to GPSC will generate a lot of revenue for the city of Westfield. Year one, it's $4 million. And every year there's an escalator, and that's going to climb to eventually $7-8 million a year. Our best year at Grand Park in terms of profit was around $1.5 million. So you can see that's almost 3 times the amount of money we've made in year one. That revenue is going to give us opportunities to invest, to build a stadium, to build the beach, and do other things at Grand Park to just enhance that experience for our residents and tourists. So handing that operation over was, I think, a really good move for our city.
Yeah, and even that Ferris wheel could come in a couple of years once we get
That's
that.
That's right. That's right.
Is there anything else you want to talk about or add?
No, I'm just really excited. I'm excited for the destinations that we're creating at Grand Park. I hope our younger generations are paying attention, and I hope, as you guys go off to college and do amazing things, that you come home. That you come home to Westfield, because think of the opportunities it's created for you just getting through high school, and we'd love to see you come back, plant your roots here, raise your kids in this community. I think Westfield is in a very strong place right now. And we rank as some of the best places to live in America, and it's just going to get better. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Westfield will always be home, and especially when this is all built, I'll be done with college, so I'll be excited to kind of see, and maybe that apartment in Westfield will be for me.
There you go. Well, you give me a call, and we'll make sure you get red carpet treatment as you look for an apartment.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Willis, for taking the time out of your day to meet with us and talk about this Grand Master Plan, as we're excited to kind of see breaking ground and having it being built.
Well, hang in there. It's going to be a rough few years as we get through all this construction, but it'll be worth it.
Thank you.